our time.
I'm sure you all know it has been so hot recently, and the ponies have had a very quiet week just because the heat wave has just been horrible. So today we're going to give Spyder a bath because there's nothing else to do, and he needs a bath. He's a bit grubby, got loads of poo stains on him, so come with us. So we've got a couple of sponges and a bucket full of water. We'll obviously kind of refresh this water as we go. We've got a shampoo, and then we've also got a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner just to get him feeling nice and silky. And then we've also got a detangling spray for at the end with a mane and tail brush. So let's get going. So I start off by using a clean sponge just to make Spyder's whole body nice and wet before we then put on some shampoo. So here I am just wetting down his body with the wet sponge, making sure to cover everywhere, and that's including his legs, his mane and his tail. Obviously I find it a lot easier just to put his whole tail into the bucket, and just making sure I stand to the side to make sure I'm in a safe space. Next I add quite a lot of shampoo into the bucket of water and give it a good stir around with my hand to make sure the water goes all nice and bubbly. And then again I go over with my sponge with the soapy water and cover his whole body again, making sure to give him a good scrub to bring up any grease or grime that's in his coat. I do like to start at the top of the pony's body and work my way down just in case he gets irritated or he doesn't like it. I'm in a safer space here than I would be if I was behind him. And I also like to either keep hold of the bucket or make sure I'm close enough to it to make sure I can grab it or move it out of the way in the case where Spyder might move or fidget, as we don't want him knocking the bucket over and scaring himself. This was a tea tree scented shampoo and it smelled absolutely amazing. Of course, we like to make sure that Spyder has a hay net so that he's busy and occupied, as he's more likely to stand still if he's munching away than if he didn't have a hay net to keep him busy. So similar thing for the tail, just putting his tail in the soapy water I find is probably the easiest way to do it. Then once I'm happy that I have given his whole body a really good scrub, it's time to get some fresh water, and you can either rinse your sponge out or you can get a new sponge, whatever you have available to you, and it's time to start washing the soapy water off. So again, I like to start at the top of the body and work my way down, as I also find that the water drips down with the flow of the hair, which means you haven't got any soapy water dripping down onto the clean body. Thanks for that. So once I was happy that all the soapy water was off, it was time to give his tail a double shampoo, and this one here actually was a 2-in-1, so it was a shampoo and a conditioner, and this was just to make sure that we get rid of any knots or tangles, and we find it just makes it much easier to manage if you have a really clean tail, as it also makes any products like detangler work a lot better. Giving his tail a really good scrub with this second 2-in-1. I always like to do a second rinse of the body just to make sure that there is no soap left over on their body, as this can be really irritating for them and we don't want them getting itchy or greasy. You just want to make sure that all the product is washed away thoroughly. So once I was happy that the soapy water was thoroughly washed off from his mane, his tail and his whole body, it was time to spray on some detangler. And I'm sure you noticed that I didn't use a sweat scraper to remove any of the excess water, and that is because it was such a warm day that we wanted the water to just evaporate in its own time off of his body, so it meant that he stayed cooler for longer. So gave his mane and tail a really good spray with the detangler, and then gave it a really good brush through to get rid of any knots and tangles. So that is Spyder all clean, and he is smelling really nice. So thank you all so much for watching, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Can't wait to see you in the next one.